All right, we are back at Collectco for part two of tonight's live Facebook record sale and YouTube. And sorry about the glitch. We had pretty much a total failure across all platforms. We had a total failure across all platforms. And I don't know what happened. I kind of know what happened, but not really. I'm going to try to remember these last couple bids. I screenshot them, but before I reset my phone, let me tell y'all what these last couple bids are. And before I can do anything, we're going to need Jason, Samuel Kopage, and Michael Butler. That was the last couple bids. Canned Heat was at $50. Phil Ott too. Phil Ott, Phil O P H I L O T T. JASONBOXALLL. I don't know why I'm spelling everybody's names. But Herman's Hermits was at 33. Elmore James got up to 100. Canned Heat was at 50. So Canned Heat 50, Jason. Herman's Hermits 33, Samuel. And Elmore James 100, Michael. Let me reset this and see. Problem is I don't see too many people on right now, so let me just give it a second. I probably need to reset. All of our links are broken now. Let me go back over here. Jason's back in high. I got to make sure Michael Butler, I mean, these first few auctions may take a few minutes because I got to make sure the other bidders know we're back on, etc. And I didn't really want to plan on going too late tonight, but you know, this little part two here might turn into something. Who knows? I don't know. And then I showed some great 45s, and if I show these again, they're all going to sell. I think that's about the time Facebook crashed, and I didn't see any claims on them. I'll show those again later. But Elmore James at 105. Michael Butler, let me know when you're back on. Sorry, I took a few minutes. I went up front and grabbed a snack right quick because I wanted to take advantage of us being off the air for a few moments. And probably some people was like, well, he's done. So that's why I was like, I'll try to get back here as fast as possible. But as it hits the algorithm and everything, just, you know, everybody stay close. Don't go too far, okay? This is part two. And I'll update some of those bids again in a second. Canned Heat was at 30, and that was Samuel Kopage, Michael Butler, a couple people I was waiting on there. Make sure you hit the like button when you're back on. Greatly appreciate that. Had a great week last week. Off to a great start tonight. Volume-wise, we've sold quite a bit tonight. You know, pretty good night. Quality-wise, tip-top. Absolutely tip-top. I mean, I don't know how many $50 and $100 albums we've sold tonight. Dozens. I mean, dozens and dozens. So it's been a great night. Incredible. We live stream here every night selling records. We have sold in the recent times to 50 states and like a dozen different countries. So we move a lot of vinyl here. We're one of the biggest, if not the biggest purchaser of high-end collections in the country. If anybody, I'm kind of just killing time to make sure our other bidders get on. Some of these people, I don't have them on Facebook. I would message them and let them know we're back live. Let me message Samuel because it's kind of unfair how those auctions. Let's go back to the top. Let's go to Samuel. I think that's him there. Yeah, we're back live. I think that was him. Yeah, it has to be. And then there's Patrick. We're waiting for Michael Butler, and then I can really just get into new stuff. I'm showing at least part of them here. Whew, me sitting down eating that snack, I was like, dude, I got to get up because as sleepy as I am, or pretty much on little sleep as I am, if I got stagnant up there, I would have fell asleep, no joke. If I sit down on like a pure exhaustion level, I'll fall asleep in no time. I saw a guy selling us a big collection. Gave me that. Yeah, thank you. We get a lot of leads. Sometimes a couple things happen. Some people ask a little bit too much for their collections, and it's just not for us. But that rarely happens because if somebody's trying to sell a huge collection, it's usually a huge money, and we're one of the few places that can go out and pay big money for collections, and huge. These collections that are worth tens of thousands of dollars. So we get a lot of leads, and either other record shops. We have the last month last quarter of the year there was 3 different record shops that basically told us about collections because they were getting passed along to us because they were just kind of pretty big, pretty expensive stuff. So. All right, JK checking back in. Basically, just taking roll call. We're right in the middle of a few auctions. Right now, the high bid on Elmore James at 105. Michael Butler, if you happen to click on in the near future, or Samuel H. Kopich, we got to finish an auction. And Phil Ott. Phil Ott on Canned Heat. He had that. Let's see. I can go back on YouTube on my phone and watch it right quick. Actually. Let me go over here to, let me go to right here. And I can go to the very end right here where we were and figure out who had what. And that in case if I don't hear back from them, I'll just go ahead and call them sold. Let's see here. Okay, we're near the end. About right here is where it quit. Yeah, Jason had Canned Heat for 50. Okay. Jason had Canned Heat for 50. Phil Ott got outbid, and he never did say out. So, Phil Ott, you're out on Canned Heat, going once, going twice. Samuel Kopich is back on. Samuel, you had Herman's Hermits for 33. Jason has bid 35. So, Samuel, you're back out on Herman's Hermits. Let me know if you want back in. And then Michael Butler, you're out on Elmore James. The most recent high bid, Michael Butler bid 100, Jason bid 105, okay? And that's basically what we're waiting on. So, Samuel, let me know on Herman's Hermits. If I don't hear back from Phil or Michael on Elmore, I'll go ahead and call them sold here pretty soon. We'll have to move on eventually. Just waiting for the feed to kind of kick in. Here are some, okay, we got an out on one, great. We got a new bid on Herman's Hermits, great. Now we're just waiting for Michael Butler over on YouTube before we can call the Elmore James. So I was in the middle of showing some 45s when the feed crashed, and we totally lost everything. It was just a total drop across all systems. So it was across all systems. We lost everything. So Facebook ended. YouTube started a new stream. I ended that one and deleted it. And now $6.99 45s. Joan Baez, the night they drove old Dixie down. The Royal Guardsman, Snoopy versus the Red Baron in the company sleeve. Love Child, Diana Ross in the Motown company sleeve. And Dion, Abraham, Martin, and John, $6.99. Samuel, you're back out on Herman's Hermits. Let's go ahead and sell the Canned Heat then for $50. Michael Butler, do you happen to be back on over on YouTube? Calling Dr. Butler. Calling Michael Butler. You're the last person we need so we can wrap up that third auction. We've heard back on him. And I knew these 45s would sell when I showed them. Those are some good ones there. I think Jason just claimed Snoopy, Dion, and Baez. And so the only thing left is the Supremes, right? So Dion is sold to Jason Boxell for $6.99. Abraham Martin and John. Joan Baez is sold for $6.99. And Snoopy is sold for $6.99. That leaves Diana Ross Lovechild. Let's go through this whole stack one more time. I got a handful over here I got to put in sleeves, which won't be a problem. I've got a couple of loose ones also for $6.99. I'll make those the first ones. The first one I have is Charlie Grace, 99 Ways, and Butterfly. And then Ruth Brown on Atlantic. Ruth Brown, My Heart is Breaking Over You, and Lucky Lips. Ruth Brown. Those are $6.99. We have one more read-through. Let's go to the oldest. Those are $6.99. I'll get them in new sleeves for you. We have Fred Darien, The Champs, Bobby Goldsboro, Jose Feliciano, The Spokesman, The Routes. John Waite still available, Missing You. Samuel Kopech, You're Out on Herman's Hermits. John Waite, $6.99. The Highwayman, Andy Stewart, and Diana Ross, Lovechild. That's the A-side. If anybody wants tracks on those, let me know. That's all from that 60s collection, even with John Waite in there. I know that's weird. $6.99. And Michael, okay, good. Michael, you're the last person we were waiting on. It really sucks when we have an internet drop because I got to be pretty fair and make sure everybody gets back on. Samuel, You're Out on Herman's Hermits. He's back in at 52. And Michael, Jason bid 105 on Elmore James, okay? We've been just waiting for you, and you have arrived. Now we're at 115. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. We got enough people now really just to keep the show rolling. Welcome. Let me read through these new LPs one more time, and then I'm going to show tonight's newest arrivals that showed up. One more time. This is kind of what I was in the middle of doing. First thing we have is A Perfect Circle. We have Green Day. We have Black Sabbath, Queens of the Stone Age, All That Remains, The Misfits, The Cars, The Misfits, Def Leppard, All That Remains, Mudhoney, David Bowie, Psychedelic Furs, The Smiths, Joshua Tree, Rush, Mariah Carey, and Master Puppets. Elmore James is at 150. Herman's Hermits is at 55. Let's add a new record from this collection up on the auction block. And the next one is going to be The Ventures, Walk, Don't Run. And actually, we don't talk about it a lot, but the Ventures are actually a pretty tough band to get in super high grade. And this is in nice condition, just like all these records tonight. They're in shrink, and this thing's nice. Walk, Don't Run, The Ventures. Just a dog-eared little bend there on the sleeve. In shrink, The Ventures. Put that up for a $15 start, and it's rolling. Herman's Hermits is at 60. Elmore James at 150. Jason, You're Out. Robert W. Does Want You To. I think you've been thinking about that for a while. Man, what a great album. Where the Streets Have No Name. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. With or Without You. Bullet the Blue Sky. Run Into a Standstill. Red Hill Mining Country. In God's Country. Or Red Hill Mining Town. In God's Country. Great stuff there. The Ventures has a bid for 15. Samuel, You're Out on Herman's Hermits. Elmore James is at 160. And the Psychedelic Furs is called Book of Days. $38.99, and that's new and sealed, Felix. We did have new vinyl tonight. We actually had 2 crates. We had a crate of stuff that I ordered, and then we had a crate of new stuff that Paul ordered that was supposed to be shown Sunday, but it just got here today. He's not doing a sale this Sunday. He's going to be out of town on a buying trip. So let me condense these, and let me show you some new stuff that came in today while we continue with these incredible auctions. Samuel's out on the Herman's Hermits, so let's make that a final call then. Herman's Hermits is with Jason Boxell, and that's at $60. Really nice copy in shrink wrap. Elmore James is at $200, and now the Ventures is the final call for $15. The Smiths is The Queen Is Dead. What's the song on here? I can't remember. I'm going to have to go to my... the next time an OG copy comes through here, I've got to keep it. But yeah, this has got that, There's a Light That Never Goes Out. That's a great song. The Light That Never Goes Out by the Smiths. That's on here. That's a great song. $33.99. And now here's new stuff that showed up tonight. Jason, You're Out on Elmore James. We have a Love Supreme, John Coltrane. Acoustic Sound Series, audio vinyl reissues. Pressed to QRP, tip-on jacket, new and sealed, $38.99 on that. We have Snoop Dogg, Rhythm and Gangsta, the masterpiece. Snoop is a 2LP, new and sealed, $39.99. And Accept, Russian Roulette, Accept is $38.99. It's time to sell some auctions. First thing is the Hermits. That is sold to Jason Boxell. Thank you for $60. Really super nice. This is from an amazing collection. If y'all have just now been hearing about these, and really incredible collection here. We've been auctioning off tonight. I'm trying to knock out most of them tonight, but we may have a little spillover to start tomorrow. Michael Butler, you're going to get the Elmore James. That's sold to Michael Butler for $200. Michael, thank you. That is so. We still got some blue stuff over here we hadn't got to tonight. We may be able to finish up or at least continue with some of those. We'll see how it goes here in these last few moments. Looks like more people's joining. And the Ventures. Jason, late night deal. No contest on that. Beautiful copy and shrink wrap. Man, sold $15. Just one bid on the Ventures. Walk, don't run. That's sold to Jason Boxell for $15. Thank you. That's gone. Let's put these right over here. And next thing I have is Tony Freeman on JW. I just got to figure out what that is. Also, we have 2 copies of U2. This is U2 Pop on orange vinyl, $38.99. King Crimson, 200-gram copy, $33.99. And Muddy Waters, Fathers and Son. That's Vinyl Me Please, $34. JW was JW. So whoever asked about the Smiths, we still have it. Whoever asked about Psychedelic Furs, we have it. And Tony, what was JW? Let's go ahead and get some more auctions started. So let's do a little bundle deal. Actually, Jason earlier claimed the Supremes for $6.99. That is, I forgot to pull that earlier. He did one. He put Sup for Supremes. That's $6.99. And then we have John Waite. Okay, that is sold to Tony Freeman. John Waite. That's from this pile here. So if we take that one out, now all that's left is the 60 stuff. Let me count these. I'm going to do a little quick like bundle deal on the remaining one of these. If not, they could get lost into the 45 abyss here for months, if not years. So let's try to go ahead and get them to a new home. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of these in really nice company sleeves. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll take $20 for what's left there. That is all in the company sleeves and all from that 60s collection. That's the 45 lot. $20 for the rest of those. Should be an easy snag for somebody. Let's go ahead and start a couple more auctions. Let's first visit Mr. Elvis Presley. Awfully late to be doing this, but man, this is the Elvis Presley from Memphis to Vegas. Elvis in person, and Elvis is back. This is a 2LP. This has the original Elvis sleeves with it from the 60s collection, as I've been calling it tonight. Same place, orange RCA label. Orange RCA label. Elvis is back. Elvis in person at the International Hotel. Very nice vinyl. Orange labels, original Elvis inner sleeves. Elvis Presley's going up for a $35 start. Beautiful gatefold. Just a little bit of ring wear on this one. I think it's where it's so dang glossy. Such a glossy cover. It does show some ring wear there, maybe where something got lightly stuck to it. $35 start. Jason Boxell got the bundle. Next was Phil Ott on the Muddy Waters. And then Mark Rennan next on the lot, and then Oso. But those were claimed first by Jason. Let me put a sticky note over here in the case so they know that. All right, so here's what I do. I may go to the back and try to find that odd, like not odd, I don't know what to call it, the rest of this collection that really we're going to put out, but it's just not ready. Don Nicole's in on Elvis at $35. Let me go ahead and start 2 more auctions before I step out to the back or step to the back. Let's revisit the world of Motown. We've sold a couple of their original albums tonight. Here's a great compilation of theirs, Martha and the Vandellas. And this has got Dancing in the Street on it, Nowhere to Run, Martha and the Vandellas. Another one from this 60s collection, nice with the original Motown inner sleeve. And we're going to put this up for a $20 start. Vinyl's around EX, but once again, the winner, the jacket, very little signs of wear. This collection tonight has been pretty incredible. Now, let's put something up from the blues batch right here behind me. As usual, I think I've said this a couple nights. Pretty late to be putting up something like this or anything from this collection. But I'm going to throw up this Peter Green, maybe. Let's try Peter Green. Peter Green, what you going to do? Peter Green is an 81 UK. Peter Green is an 81 UK. It's an OG. It's nice. It's from the Blues collection. $25 start. Elvis has a bid for $35. Martha and the Vandellas has a bid for $20. Peter Green's a $25 start. And the Smiths is $33.99. I'm going to step to the back. I'm going to try to find some of those other records from this collection because I think they're just so nice. You know, and I don't know. I never know what somebody's going to buy. That's one of our biggest challenge here. What to put out for sale with all this inventory. So let me step to the back and grab those. I got to walk around the table. I'm going to grab an empty crate, try to bring that stuff up here. And we're about to go through records that really have obviously never been shown and never been gone through. And they've been in this collection literally for about 30 years untouched. I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere because you're going to miss an auction or you're going to miss these records. Okay, maybe y'all can hear me. Oh, my mic is still on. I didn't mute it. So I'm back here and I doubt y'all can hear me. Let me go ahead and put it back on. Yep, okay. So, sorry. We're back now, and everything just got one bid except Peter Green. So, Don Nicole, nice pickup there on Elvis for $35. That's sold to Don Nicole. Thank you, Don Nicole. That's sold you for $35. Martha and the Vandellas. Jason gets that for $20. I think I found the stack of the other unprocessed records from this collection. And the Jefferson Airplane earlier from the Hype. Yeah, that sold. That was one of the first ones sold tonight. That was a good one. Jason, you get Martha and the Vandellas for $20. That was mono and shrink. The vinyl, though, was VG Plus. But just for the cover. And let's make Peter Green a buy it now for $25. Awfully late to be putting some of this stuff up. So I don't know how many more I'm going to run. Those of us all got single bids. That didn't get a bid. It's a $25 buy it now. Let me show you these records. I mean, I don't know. There's some pretty well-known titles. These are kind of the ones that just we don't know what to do with them. But I'm pretty sure they're all from the same batch. I obviously didn't get to do there. Javi, I saw your comment. The only Dream Theater we have in stock is Metropolis. Unfortunately, all the other ones are sold out with my distributors. I have back-ordered all the Dream Theaters. So I may still put up a couple more auctions, but right now, the first thing I want to do is show y'all what's these in here. Let's make everything in here just $6.99. And this should be, unless I mix something in, and I'll probably be able to recognize it just from the condition. Obviously, Paul bought them, so he'd have a better idea. But I think everything in here is from that batch of the 60s collection, okay? And they're $6.99. Some strange stuff in here, but let's go ahead and show it. Yeah, Brian Call wants the Smiths. I forgot that. And I don't know who asked about it, but if anybody else wants a copy, let me know. The Smiths is sold to Brian Call. So these are $6.99. Here's the Wayne Eddy Half Twangy Guitar Will Travel. I don't think this one is because it's in pretty beat-up condition. But it's a pretty low-grade copy, but it's on a yellow Jamie label. And this is Half Twangy Guitar Will Travel. And early one there from Dwayne Eddy. But the vinyl's like VG minus or less. Pretty beat-up cover, but that's $6.99. I don't know why I'm putting it over here. $6.99, just kind of a discount bin. So a lot of different stuff in here. $6.99. Metropolis, let me try to find that for you right here. This is sold to Javi Soto, a sticker. Dwayne Eddy, $6.99. The Weavers on tour. So this 60s collection, it makes sense. There was a lot of folk music. A lot of that same, that's just the way that stuff felt there, right? Or why that stuff fell right there around the mid-60s with, you had like the Flower, what I call the Summer of Love, I've been calling it tonight. But there was this lot of that same listening group was very interested in folk music. And they had a lot of this stuff right here, like the Weavers on tour. $6.99 for the Weavers on tour. Also, the Weavers at Carnegie Hall. This is all from the collection. And most of these, I can tell you just by the way these are kept, are in super nice condition. The Weavers at Carnegie Hall. Vanguard, yes, these are very nice. $6.99, $6.99. Vanguard. This is pretty strange looking. It's called I Can't. Or Incant. Golden Blues. I'm not for sure what that is. Incant. Looks pretty strange to me about the groups. It looks almost like jazz. I'm not really for sure what's going on here. 1961. Looks pretty cool for $6.99. Johnny Mood, Johnny Mathis. In the original Columbia 6-eye sleeve. Everything in here is $6.99. And look at this. Pretty much near mint. Columbia 6-eye, Johnny Mathis, Johnny's Mood. All these records are $6.99. And then let's go over here to this, which is a Robeson. And this is $6.99. Vanguard, super nice records. These are all from the same collection. And that's Paul Robeson, right? Paul Robeson? Yeah. $6.99 on those. So first thing we have is Jason put Incant. Anyway, Jason put IM and then JM. So did you want Incant or did you just want JM? And then Rico was second on the Johnny Mathis. So we'll figure that out. Let's run another auction. Because I've got so many more. We're gonna have to resume these tomorrow. But let's put up Sonny and Cher. I may do the check. Let me do the check condition ones. Some of these just absolutely pristine ones I may hold off on. Let's do the Simon & Garfunkel Sounds of Silence, which I believe was check condition, but beautiful jacket. Really beautiful jacket. This is Sounds of Silence, a Columbia 2i. This one's been pretty well played from this collection. It even has a fillable mark, but the jacket's beautiful. It'd be a great update. I'm just going to put it up for a $5 start. Just a $5 start on that one. Beautiful jacket. The record's pretty beat up, okay? It even has a feelable scratch on it. Nice jacket, though. That's probably the only reason it's making it back there. And then I have some check condition Elvis records here. Let's do Elvis's Back. Elvis's Back is it's not bad. There's typically how we see them. I'm going to call it VG. VG. It's let's see if it has any of the good extras with it. I don't see any photos or anything. Really cool gatefold though. Has pictures of his time in the service there on the back too. Elvis is about VG copy. Let's put that up for a $15 start. So Johnny Mathis, that's sold to Jason Boxell for $6.99. Continuing in here, Trini Lopez at PJ's. Has a crisp inner sleeve with it. Trini Lopez at PJ's. And this is going to be $6.99 by popular demand. And if they're from this collection, wow, look at that. Tricolor Steamboat label, just beautiful. $6.99. More Trini Lopez at PJ's. Beautiful white jacket. $6.99 on that. Also, Trini Lopez at PJ's in shrink. In shrink. No condition notes, obviously. I have a feeling it's going to look extremely nice. Has an original Reprise inner sleeve. Fantastic. These are all $6.99. Super nice, clean copy there. The best of the Chad Mitchell Trio. Moving back into some of that folk stuff. Coincides with the 60s collection here. The best of the Chad Mitchell Trio. Cap record. Super nice. That's $6.99. As will everything be in here. Trini Lopez on the Move. Another crisp original Reprise inner sleeve. Reprise was Frank Sinatra's label. So he signed all these artists, or at least his label did. Simon & Garfunkel has one bid for $5. Another bid for $15 on Elvis has come in. Chad Mitchell Trio, Mighty Day on Campus. Now, I usually have sold copies of this before. $6.99 on the Chad Mitchell Trio, Mighty Day, super clean copy. Mighty Day on Campus, $6.99. Jim McGuinn in this picture right here. Jim McGuinn, $6.99 for Chad Mitchell Trio. Pat's Greatest Hits, as in Pat Boone, has a Dot High Fidelity Ultra Stereophonic sticker on it. More nice stuff here from this, what I've been calling tonight, 60s collection. Let me move around. How do you get the record out of here? It's an old wax paper sleeve that the Pat Boone has on Dot Records. Pat Boone is clean and nice from the 60s collection. That's sold to Jason Boxell. Pat Boone's Greatest Hits. That's sold for $6.99. Simon & Garfunkel 5, Elvis 15. Almost said Moody River, Pat Boone. Original Dot inner sleeve, another Pat Boone. Dot Records, nice. May need some fingerprints smudged on there, but straight out of the bin, that's how I found it. $6.99, another Pat Boone. And this is Pace Up with People from the Chic Television Color Spectacular, the Sing Out musical. John Wayne, Pat Boone, Walt Disney. Mentioned here on the front. John Wayne, Pat Boone, and Walt Disney. This is Sing Out. More folk-related stuff here. Who else is on here? The Cowgirls, Green Gills, Linda Blackmore, $6.99 on that. Jason wants the other Pat Boone. Let's also sell Simon & Garfunkel for $5. Make sure all these get new sleeves. Jason gets that for $5. Don gets Elvis for $15. Thank you, thank you. Those are sold and sold. The Authentic Sounds of Glenn Miller, RCA Living Stereo, super nice copy. The Authentic Sounds of Glenn Miller. Where's Tracy Solinger at? Feel like Tracy'd be grabbing some of these. The Jolly Tinkerman, and this is the Irish Patriotic Songs of the Jolly Tinkerman. Now we're getting into some of this, like I said, more like world music. This is a UK mono on page 1. The Jolly Tinkerman. That's $6.99. Glenn Miller sold to Jason Boxell for $6.99. Let me see what else we can throw up for auction right quick in this batch. Let me revisit some of the check condition stuff here. And we might put up another Elvis here. And let's see what's going on with this Everly. This Everly Brothers is usually a pretty popular copy. But this one here is a pretty lower grade. I would call it down there like in the VG or VG minus range. It's on the Cadence label. Definitely an older, if not original. This is the Everly Brothers. We're going to put that up for a $5 start on the Everly Brothers. The jacket has a little bit of a split at the top. And then we got Elvis here. And see, all these were picked for auction, but we didn't know what they looked like until we looked at the disc. And then here's Elvis. It's also a pretty low-grade copy. We'll put Elvis up for a $5. So EB and EP. Next in here is God Save Ireland, song by Arthur Murphy, Traditional Songs of the Irish Resistance. That's $6.99. That's still in shrink. And the Irish Rovers at CBC Television Studios, Vancouver, Canada. The Irish Rovers. And all these are from this same batch. It looks like they were pretty well taken care of records so far from what we've seen, literally in the last 9 hours. Everything so far, except for a couple handful. There's going to be outliers in every collection. Those are pretty worn records. $5 starts each on those. Everly Brothers has a bid. The Clancy Brothers and Timmy Macomb, the Bold Fenian Men. More Irish-related stuff here. This is on a Columbia 2i label. $6.99. Did I pull Glenn Miller? Let me make sure. I don't know if I pulled Glenn Miller for Jason. Did I pull Glenn Miller? I did, didn't I? Yeah, I pulled Glenn Miller. Did I? Pat Boone? Yeah, I did. Okay, Glenn Miller's been pulled. Bobby B on CB. The Clancy Brothers. That's sold to Bobby B. Columbia 2i label. Super nice. CB. Bobby B on the Clancy Brothers. That's sold. Thank you. $6.99. And we have more Clancy Brothers. This is Green in the Green. Clancy Brothers in shrink. Another nice copy. Original printed inner sleeve lyrics here. The Clancy Brothers. Nice copy there. That's $6.99. And then we have the Clancy Brothers with Tommy Macomb. I'm a Freeborn Man. More Clancy Brothers. Let me take a quick peek at this one. Top Bobby. You might have hit the Clancy Brothers stash here. Bobby B on the Clancy Brothers for $6.99. That's for the second one. There's the third one. And here is German Drinking Songs. I thought about pulling this one out and showing it tomorrow during New Arrivals because those usually sell the German Drinking Songs. I'm always like, you can put those on, get drunk, and start singing. And the Everly Brothers is sold to Jason for $5. Does anybody want a low-grade Elvis for $5? Bobby B gets the Clancy Brothers 3 in a row for $6.99. Jason gets German Drinking Songs for $6.99. And we have Calypso. And this, I believe, is like a giveaway. Yeah, a lot of these records were given away overseas or for like air travel, etc. I've seen a lot of like airplane companies give away records about like Jamaica with Jamaican music. I think that's what's going on here. Calypso, they're pretty much like giving these away to encourage some, flight travel. Who is this? Guard Eagle Airways. Yeah, it's a promotional record from Cunard Eagle Airways. So yeah, Miami, Nassau. Trying to get you to get down to some Calypso music so you'll get encouraged to travel overseas, right? Don Nicole, you get Elvis for $5. Thank you. Next $6.99 record is On the Shores of America, the Irish Rovers. That's $6.99, the Irish Rovers. We have the Clancy Brothers with Luke Hillen's Greatest Hits. More Clancy Brothers. So far, we're 3 for 3 on these. This looks like a very nice copy. It's a Gatefold 2 LP on Vanguard. The Clancy Brothers Greatest Hits. Let's take a look at this. $6.99 records we're going through here. Just nice, beautiful stuff in this collection. We're Off to Dublin in the Green. The Abbey Tavern Singers. Abbey Tavern Singers. Definitely a foreign record there. More Irish-type folk stuff. A lot of Irish-type folk stuff in here. There is the Abbey Tavern again. Traditional Ballads. Haworth, Dublin. That looks pretty interesting. Flip back cover, $6.99. And Irish Rovers, The Life of the Rover. That's a pretty cool cover for that one. Irish Rovers, The Life of the Rover. That's $6.99. And Laura's Theme, Les Compagnons de la Chanson in Concert. Interesting. And that is $6.99. It's on a Columbia 2i label. $6.99 on that. And here's more Glenn Miller. The Authentic Sound of Glenn Miller Today. The Authentic Sound of Glenn Miller Today. $6.99 on that. Another pretty cool cover there of all of the instruments. And more Clancy Brothers. Where's Bobby B at? Irish Folk Airs. Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macomb and their families. This is on the Tradition label. and it appears to be super clean, $6.99. What say ye maybe a couple more auctions back here? Let's see what else we have. I have a check condition Supremes, and let me do that up right now. And this is I Hear a Symphony. Now, how check condition is it? Let's see here. Well, first thing, the jacket's nice, as with almost everything in this collection. The vinyl appears to be VG, so let's put it up for a $7 start. It's a VG record. Typically something that's even beat up more than that, though. $7 start on the Supremes. Nice jacket, though. First thing we have is the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem. There's another copy, $6.99. Also, the songs of Tommy Makem. Sounds like he was part of the Clancy Brothers at one point. $6.99 on that. More Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem, The Rise of the Moon. Wow, Bobby B, I didn't realize there was this much Clancy Brothers in here. We might have to do a Clancy Brothers bundle. Here's the Clancy Brothers in person at Carnegie Hall. There's another Clancy Brothers. How about recorded live, the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem in Ireland? There's more Clancy Brothers. How about the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem, Freedom's Sons? There's more Clancy Brothers. How about the best of the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem? There's more Clancy Brothers. How about Encore Robeson? Monitor presents Paul Robeson Favorites Volume 2. Had a Paul Robeson record earlier in the crate. Here's another one, and this is extremely nice looking, it looks like. And let me undo this dog ear on the sleeve, and that's nice, $6.99. Do a bundle. I'll do a bundle with you. Let me see how many's left. I thought this was pretty cool. Music and voices from the height of the British Empire. Buckingham Palace there on the cover. Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben, $6.99. Music and voices from the height of the British Empire. Final call on the Supremes for $7. Classic Scots ballads, sung by Ewan MacColl with Peggy Seeger. Cool cover there. Classic Scots ballads. Also, Heather and Glen, songs of melodies and Highland of Lowland Scotland. In Shrink, more world-type music here. $6.99. More Scottish traditionals. I don't know what they usually sing about, but it looks like they like to sing. Jason on the height of the British Empire. That's sold to Jason for $6.99. I'm also going to go ahead and see the Supreme for $7. Let me see if there's any more Clancy Brothers. Just a few more left in here. The best of the Dukes of Disneyland. That is $6.99. That's in Shrink. Nice. This is Los Compañeros del Chanson Viola. $6.99. Great music of Europe's courts and cathedrals. I thought that seemed pretty cool. Great music of courts and cathedrals. Interesting. Prince Albert, Beethoven. Looks pretty cool. Gatefold 2 LP. I like stuff like that. It's almost like a listening, learning experience. $6.99, so probably some classical type stuff there. Also, great voices of the century. John McCormick, Irish songs. John McCormick sings Irish songs. And in concert, the Clancy Brothers. So let's do that one first. There's one Clancy Brothers. And then we hit a Clancy Brothers streak. There is 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. Do you want the Tommy Makem too, or just Clancy Brothers? It looks like Tommy Makem was part of them. Let me recount here. There's 1. Let me know if you want Tommy Makem. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8. He said yes on that too. There's 9. So 9 including him. So was there any more in there? I think there's a couple more. There's 10. Yep, and I think that was the last one. There's 10, and that should be all of them. Let me look through here one more time. You bought the others. So $6.99, that's 7. There's 10, that would be 70. How about $5 a piece? 10, and that would be $50. And as you know, they're all fantastic condition in Shrink or better, or Shrink and the vinyls EX Plus are better on those. And Jason put Brit. And that was the great music. What was Brit? Did I miss something there? Brit, German, British. That was the British Empire, right? That was your last claim, okay? And Bobby B says he'll take these 10 for $50, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. Those are sold to Bobby B for $50, all right? Those are gone. And that leaves, in this great John McCormick, great music of Europe's courts and cathedral. We have Les Compañeros del Chanson, the Becks of Dixieland, Heather and Glen, that's songs, melodies of Lowland Scotland, classic Scots ballads. Encore Roberson, Glenn Miller today, Laura's Theme, Les Campanjans de la Johnson. I know I'm mispronouncing that. Irish Rovers, Abbey Tavern, Irish Rovers, Calypso, Irish Rovers, God Save Ireland, the original or the Jolly Tinkerman, Up With the People, Chad Mitchell, Trini Lopez, Chad Mitchell, Trini Lopez, Roberson again, I Can or Incant. And then the Weavers, and Have Guitar Will Travel. Phil Ott does want the Glenn Miller that went unclaimed. That's sold to Phil Ott for $6.99. All right, pretty cool there. Let's see here. So tomorrow, I can tell you this for sure. Tomorrow, we got a lead start on auctions. And then I think what I'm going to do is the rest of what's back there that John kind of had set aside. Man, I wish he had... I wonder what happened to the rest of the 45s. Give me a second, because we might can go through a few more 45s, and then the Trini for $6.99. Now, what you're trying to say is you want all three for $16.99, Mark, instead of 3 for $21. Those 3 for $16. Is that what you're saying? Those 3 for $16. And then Jason Boxell gets the Dukes. Sell Jason the Dukes of Disneyland, or Dixieland. Let me make sure. I'm peeking at these just to make sure there's not an anomaly in here, trash, but everything from this collection has been well taken care of with the exception of a few records. Yeah, that's really nice. That probably hadn't been out of the sleeve in 48 years. That is sold to Jason Boxell. And then Irish Rovers. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on with the Irish Rovers. We got 2 Irish Rovers, and we got 3 Irish Rovers. And was that it with the Irish Rovers? I think there was 3, right? 3 Irish Rovers. Those there. And then McCormick Cathedrals. Okay. So, yeah, sell these 3 to Mark Rennan for $16. And, Bobby, let's do these for... let's do these for $12. $12. Okay. Anybody else? Let me see. He kind of wanted to sort through the 45 so we could have them ready for the next batch. Let me see if there's any more over here in these binders where we hadn't really sorted through. I think there might be. No, not yet. I'll see what we can do with these, and then for those that's been buying this stuff, you might want to tune back in tomorrow. I probably will have the last batch sorted. I'm sure my mic cut out, didn't it? Can y'all still hear me? I'll probably have the last batch sorted, and sell these to Bobby D for $10. Bobby, I'm going to sell them to you. You're one of the few people I've sold Irish Rover albums to, so I will sell them to you for $10. Thank you. And if anybody wants a deal on these last ones, it's all mostly folk and Irish music. Bobby or anybody else, we'll say the rest of that batch. But I think with that, I kind of need to stop for several reasons. One, it's 1:30. 2, I've kind of ran out of stuff to show. We have some very faithful viewers on right now, but I need everybody to rest, and we're probably going to resume this again tomorrow. Let me stop there, and we should have at least a whole nother crate of this stuff that's unprocessed, not more so these type records, but maybe other titles like we auction night. I still got about that many more to auction, and it's been an incredible night. What I want for the lot? Well, the problem with these bundles, I can get them really cheap. The problem is shipping, and I know we do $7 in limited shipping, but sometimes they can get too heavy, and it's almost just not worth it. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 21 records there. I would sell those to you for $50. 21 records. I'll say the rest of them for $50. Michael Butler, thank you. Mary Miles, thank you. Jason Boxell, thank you. If anybody else wants to get in a thank you, or I need to be thanking y'all, but if you want to get in a good night, I'll thank you as you say good night. Thanks for coming back for part 2. Sorry we had to start a whole new stream. I'm about to eat and crash and then try to come here tomorrow during the day and get more of this stuff ready. I like being here when John's here because we can really work on this kind of stuff together. Laura's always marking auctions. Paul's out of town. Yeah. So that's where we're at. But thanks, everybody. And there's a bundle of some Irish stuff there, 21 at $50. That would be a little over $2 a piece. And he's passing. If anybody else decides you want them, just let me know, and we'll stop there. Are you sure you don't want them, Bobby? There's a chance. There's a chance if you buy these and we go through the rest of the stuff tomorrow, we have bought a collection and sold everything out of it in less than 48 hours. So no pressure or anything. But I know tomorrow the rest of those auctions are going to sell. No problem, because there's still some nice ones. I know where the rest of the stuff is. I got to get back there and make sure John keeps it all together. And yeah, it's the same. Plus all these 45s. I'm going to get all the 45s out, and we're going to sell them together. Like tonight, we're going to show them. If no one buys them, we'll bundle them together. So have a lot of those already. Okay, no problem. I understand. I might can do it with somebody. I'll leave them right here. It might be one of the first things I put up tomorrow. Who knows? But thanks, everybody. Good night. I've got some food up front waiting on me. I almost tore into earlier, but I was like, nope, I got to go back live, and we're done. So thanks, everybody. Good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you, as always.